Hey there, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Ladies and gents, on this video, what we're gonna do is dive in a little bit deeper and talk about why having that URL in your name can be so powerful. So it's sort of like a step two here of the branding kit guide for that first box, all right? So I'm gonna get rid of a few things on the screen here so we can see a little bit better. I'm not exactly sure where to put my head, so I'm gonna try right there for now. Again, so we're at step two, at branding yourself, and we'll drag it on over here. The video we just did a second ago was about what to do about it from an introductory standpoint. If you haven't seen that, we'll put a link below here, and we'll get after it. But nonetheless, as always, if you're interested in reaching out to us and working directly with us, you can schedule a free consultation call anytime. There'll be a link below, but let's dive in, okay? So what's going on here? So we're saying we should brand ourselves, right? So what does that really even mean? We talked about it a little bit in the last video, but one thing that we've alluded to a few times here and there when we did our favorite customer tool and when we identified ourselves, and we're going to talk way more about this in the future, but what I wanted to do right now in this process is sort of try to drive home your urgency a little bit to run out and sort of buy your URL for your name, okay? So that's what we're going to do right now, and I'm going to try to do like a live search, if you will, and go from there. So what I have is sort of two different scenarios, right? So I'm going to do Wikipedia, and I'm going to put in shoes, okay? Now, when we go here, what happens? We have the history of a shoe. Oops. Should probably move that and maybe make it a little smaller. You guys don't want to see me. You want to see what else is going on. So when we go to Wikipedia, we see a shoe, right? We went here, researched it, and the idea here, the takeaway that I want to sort of talk about is that when we go to Wikipedia and look up shoe, there aren't any calls to action. There's a lot of description, there's some history, there's a lot of really great information. Like, I've never done this before, frankly, and this is kind of cool, but like, look at how rad this is pretty neat, you know what I mean? So the idea here is there's no call to action. So for you and your business, when you get someone to come to your website, do you want it to be like this? Do you want there to be calls to action? Do you want there to be information? Do you want, like, where does this balance? Where do you want it to be, right? I have an opinion that I'm going to share with you in a second, but I want to further this point, okay? So if we go to Amazon and type in shoes, so see if I go back to the home, okay, and I type in shoes, it's a dramatically different scenario, right? So it's bringing up shoes that I can buy. The point here is there's calls to action, right? Now, I could type in something more specific. It's allowing me to filter over here. There's all sort of things going on to have this relationship, meaning my customer journey, if you will, be valuable. So what the concept here is that when you go to Wikipedia, your customer journey is to learn. When you go to Amazon, your customer journey is to purchase. It's to exchange money for stuff, right? So wrap your head around that in terms of how you want your page to be. So if instead of it being Amazon.com, it's yourname.com. And what is it going to look like? Okay, so we're going to come over here. I typed in Denver Realtor, and these are my results. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this, in another video we talk about this, but this little guy right here says add, this says add, this says add, and this one does not. So we have 3 results here, if I'm not mistaken, yep. Of the total 4 that are available from Google to be an ad at the top of the page. All right, and I'm on desktop view, right? So on your mobile phone, the first 1 and possibly 2 are going to take up your whole screen, the first 2 results, usually, maybe even 1, depending on how the ad is crafted. As you can see, Excuse me, sorry, this one is laid out a little bit different than this one as an example. But nonetheless, the point here is different than that. So I put in Denver Realtor, okay? So I'm not going to click on these guys' ads because I don't want to, they pay per click and I don't want to do that. But what I do want to do is I want to say, all right, depending on where I am in the city of Denver, maybe I'm in the Highlands, or maybe I'm in Cap Hill, or maybe I'm in X neighborhood, right? Depending on where I am, these particular folks may have a different targeting plan, right? So let's say I am in Cap Hill, which is a neighborhood that it's a really cool neighborhood, all right? So if I'm in Cap Hill and you on the other side here, you want to target that area, okay? So we'd put in that zip code as an example, right? And then we would put in Denver Realtor as a keyword, and that would give you the opportunity to show up right here as an ad. So I'm just walking through this, not to say that you should do this necessarily, even though I do believe that most people should do this, but it's more of just an illustration of what to do with your website. Okay, so again, I'm not going to click on this, but let's say that I did, and you're on the opposite end of this. You want to work in Cap Hill. I'm in Cap Hill. I type in a keyword that you want to target, right? People who search for Denver Realtor that happen to be in the geographical area of Cap Hill. You want your ad to show up? Yes, you do, right? So number two, what do you want it to say? You probably want it to talk about Cap Hill. Maybe it's specifically about Cap Hill. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's about the surrounding areas. It could be about various things to add value to what you've determined it needs to do to add value to the person that's in Cap Hill and searches for your keyword terms, right? But the second part is where does it go? When someone clicks on this right now, if I clicked on it, but I'm not going to because I don't want to charge this person, right? Is that, do you want it to go to more of an Amazon page where it's specific? It's talking about, so instead of shoes being here, it could be life in Cap Hill, okay? And this could be an article, or this could be whatever you want it to be, right? It's specifically about that. You follow my chain of thought? Or would you rather just have it come here, which is more just about real estate? It's more about Denver Realtor. It's vague. It's about this, not necessarily the niche that you happen to target. And I hope that makes sense for you guys, because this is a really, really, really big deal. Okay, so when you brand yourself, right, now what you've done is you're going to put yourself out there in various ways. This is one way to put yourself out there, which is amazing, by the way, or it can be at least. But there's other ways as well. And so what we want to do is we want to think about what's going to happen when they go there. Okay, so having a more, I guess we'll call this the traditional side of the website, where it's not transactional, there's no calls to action, and we'll call this more of a transactional website, right? Well, so my personal opinion is that we can blend them a little bit, but I think that we should lean more on this side, because you're a business. You can add value, you can share information in a very intentional way, to not have it be like this, where it's just running on with crazy amounts of text, right? That's a lot of work. Or it could be more to the point and transactional, so that when you spend money, if you were this person right now, and again, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to be that guy, but if I clicked on this, my hope is that it would talk to me and who they're trying to target, not just about something bland about real estate in Denver where I can search for homes or whatever it is, which I personally can see value in. But in this particular situation, I hope that you're seeing what I'm talking about here. And we're going to talk more about this in our sales funnels presentation in a little bit. But yeah, I hope you guys really understand this, because this is powerful stuff. And so have this be your takeaway. When you're surfing around now, from now on, first of all, do three things. Be aware of if there's ads, okay? And on my phone and on my computer here, you can see that it shows an ad, okay? Google allows 4 spots at the top, and it's either 3 or 4 at the bottom. Okay, let's see, there are 3 at the bottom currently right now, okay? Our objective always is to have you in the top 4. Very rarely do our ad campaigns not get you in the top 4. Side note, okay? So when you're searching, be aware of who's in these top places. Number two, look at what they say, or part of number one actually is, what do they say? What do these things say? Like, think about where you are in the world, wherever you are, whether you're in the country or in the city or in this neighborhood or that or whatever, and what the ad says. Does it talk to you? Does it help you make your potential customer journey closed, right? And then the second part is, what do you want your how do you want to, depending on what you search, do you want it to be a transactional ending when you click on whatever it is that you click on, or do you want it to be more of a Wikipedia, no call to action, traditional side, I guess, information only interaction? Because sometimes, like if I put in the history of Earth right here, I'm not looking to do a transaction, right? But if I put in Jordans, I probably want to buy them. There's a chance that I want to learn about the history. That's true, because there is a lot of history with Jordans. But there's also a decent chance that I want to have a transaction. So think about that and how you want to put yourself out there, both from a blog standpoint. And again, we'll talk about this more later, but that can be very, very powerful. And that's kind of where social media and blogs and vlogs and all this sort of stuff can be very, very powerful and turn into a snowball that's in your favor. But at the end of the day, you want someone to go to your site and be confused and not know what to do, and or not know that you want to do business with them. You want to make it really clear. So, all right, we're going to go to the next one. Thank you very much. Sorry this one a little bit long, but let's pop on to the next one, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.